Download this code from codegive.com, link in the description below. Sure. In Siemens PLC programming, particularly when using the TIA portal, Totally Integrated Automation Portal, input and output addressing is a fundamental concept. In this tutorial, we'll cover the basics of input and output addressing, how to configure them in TIA portal, and provide a code example to illustrate their use. Overview of input and output addressing. 1. Inputs. These are signals or data coming into the PLC from external devices like sensors, switches, and other components. Inputs can be digital, on/off, or analog, varying values. 2. Outputs. These are signals or commands sent from the PLC to external devices like actuators, motors, and indicators. Similar to inputs, outputs can be digital or analog. Addressing formats. In Siemens PLCs, addressing is typically done using the following formats. I. Inputs, refers to physical inputs. For example, I0.0 represents the first digital input. Q. Outputs, refers to physical outputs. For example, Q0.0 represents the first digital output. M. Memory, refers to memory bits that can be used for internal logic. For example, M0.0 is a memory bit. DB, data blocks, refers to user-defined data blocks where you can store structured data. Step-by-step tutorial on input and output addressing in TIA portal. Step 1. Create a new project. 1. Open TIA portal. 2. Click on Create New Project. 3. Name your project and click Create. Step 2. Add a PLC. 1. In the project tree, right-click on Devices and Networks. 2. Select Add New Device. 3. Choose the appropriate PLC model, example S7-1200, and click Add. Step 3. Configure input and output modules. 1. In the PLC configuration, you will see a list of available I/O modules. 2. Drag and drop the required digital input and output modules onto the PLC. For example, add a digital input module, example SM1234, and a digital output module, example SM1235. Step 4. Address the inputs and outputs. 1. By default, the inputs and outputs will be assigned addresses sequentially. 2. You can view and modify the addresses by clicking on the module and going to the Properties panel. 3. Confirm the addresses. Inputs, I0.0, I0.1, etc. Outputs, Q0.0, Q0.1, etc. Step 5. Create a program block. 1. In the project tree, navigate to Program Blocks. 2. Right-click and select Add New Block. 3. Choose OB1, Organization Block, for the main program and click Add. Step 6. Write the ladder logic. 1. Open the OB1 block by double-clicking it. 2. Use the ladder diagram to create your logic. Here's a simple example that turns on an output when an input is activated. In this example, I0.0 is a digital input that will turn on Q0.0, digital output, when activated. Step 7. Download and test the program. 1. Connect your PC to the PLC. 2. Click on Download to Device to transfer the program to the PLC. 3. Put the PLC in run mode and test the input and output functionality. Code example in structured text, ST. If you prefer using structured text, here's a similar example. Conclusion. In this tutorial, we covered the basics of input and output addressing in Siemens PLCs using TIA portal. We went through the steps of configuring a PLC, addressing inputs and outputs, writing a simple program, and testing it. Working with inputs and outputs is crucial for automating processes, and understanding how to address them correctly will help you create more complex and efficient control systems in the future. Feel free to ask if you have any questions or need further clarification on any part of the process.